welcome to another episode of A Day in the Lens. I apologize if I sound a little funny, I'm just getting over a cold here. I'm going to do my best not to go into a coughing fit while recording this, but no promises. As you've seen in the first episodes of this series, I more or less go back, revisit the days, tell you a little bit of the successes, a little bit of the failures, where we were, what we went through, pretty much any little detail, kind of share the story with you guys. And this episode isn't going to be any different, as I've got another story about a couple more locations that we visited on another outing. On this day when we went out, it was about halfway through fall. It was dark, dreary, extremely wet. It had snowed, so there is a little bit of snow that I captured in a couple of the pictures of the one location anyways. So to start the day out, I did two different things. One, I made sure both the batteries of my camera were 100% fully charged. I knew we were going out, so I charged them both up the night before, and I went onto my laptop and I transferred all the photos that I had on my camera over to my SD card. This way I knew I was going out with 100% storage, so I had all the room that my SD card would allow to optimize and utilize. The autofocus mode that I was using on the camera on that day was the AI servo. Of course, I was using the live view mode, which is a little bit more of a pain in the ass on my Canon 7D, but I'm kind of getting used to it, and even though it's not the greatest, I still feel like I'm doing okay with it. And of course, I stuck with the manual mode like I have been. So the first location we stopped at, it was just off of a county road on the outskirts of town. Never been there. Seeing as this location was new to us, we never visited it before. I didn't really know what to expect, but starting out with our walk, I noticed that there was a section kind of in the middle of the trails where there was just pine trees, and like decent sized ones, all in pretty straight rows. So I did play around with that a little bit, and I did manage to get a couple different photos that I thought were pretty neat. The trees acted as like leading lines, and although I didn't focus in and I wasn't able to pick up what was at the other end of the lines of the trees, but the trees acted as leading lines towards like the light at the end of the tunnel. The one section of trail had a whole bunch of roots coming out of the ground. Getting about halfway through, we stumbled upon an area that had a little bit of a lookout over like a big pond area. It does have like a little dam waterfall that ran into a little creek that ran underneath a bridge that we had to cross to get to the other side. Other than that though, there wasn't too much about the area that really stood out. No sooner did we get back to the car, it started downpouring, so it's a good thing we got back when we did. After that, we came home, had some lunch, decided on another location, and took off to there. This one has been kind of on my radar for a little while now. We know the general area, but we never actually went to this specific location. Getting close to it and following the maps, we actually did end up getting turned around because the way that the photos look on Google, there was really no main area. We had no idea that the trail mouth was in a different spot. We also figured out that this location is best to do in the summertime when the ground's dry, as there is a lot of hills down and a lot of hills up. It was more or less like we were walking through miniature mountainsides, I guess. The location itself was extremely excluded. Discovering that this place was full of different elevation, I kind of made it a little bit of my mission to try to capture how the elevation was, or how big the cliffs were. When we first went onto the one trail that we walked, it pretty much just right into a sloped trail with a whole bunch of wet leaves all over. I was trying my best to take pictures that would kind of show off the amount of elevation we were walking on, because pretty much right along parts of the trail was just like wood logs from trees that were just there as like guides so that nobody would fall over. As we came down the first hill and had to go down a set of stairs, there was like a little embankment river that was cut out the side of the hill. I stepped down into it because there wasn't a lot of water in it, and I did manage to get a couple photos of the elevation, just the way that the water eroded away part of the hillside. Before we got to the stairs to go down to start our climb back up the other side, off in the distance at the base, there was snow that was on either side of the river that was down there, and it was casting a nice mist. I tried to capture some of it, and there may have been a couple photos that came out of it, but the eerie feel I didn't manage to capture from it, which kind of sucks, but that's part of the learning curve. Not really knowing where we were going, we ended up at a river, which, as far as I know, the trail that we were on was supposed to cross it, because there was blue markers on our side plus on the other side. We didn't go there. That's something I feel would be best done in the summertime. So we got to that spot. There's a waterfall that we were on top of, but back a little bit. After turning around and starting to head back, we were just about halfway back and it started raining. I just packed my camera up in my bag and shut everything off, and we just walked back to the car. I'm sure my camera could probably handle a little bit of the moisture, a little bit of rain, but I'm not willing to go ahead and destroy any of my camera equipment just to take photos when it's raining. It is what it is. It's what happens when you get into photography on a budget. The first location, I have revisited it. Unfortunately, when I went back again, it was downpouring the entire time, so I didn't really get any other photos. So if this is something that you enjoy, consider hitting the thumbs up and smashing the subscribe button. I do have plans to strap the camera to my chest somewhere, somehow, and take you guys on POV adventures. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments below. Again, I apologize for the way I sound. I'm still getting over a cold. It's been kind of lingering. And stay tuned for my next episode of A Day in the Lens, because I do have another couple stories I want to share with you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Get out, get capturing, and I'll see you in the next one.